Hi, I'm Damon with Modern Music Studio, and this is going to be a 30-minute lesson on the music of Steely Dan. Now, Steely Dan their music is extremely complex for rock and roll music, and of course it's got all kinds of styles mixed in there. But we're going to start with some of the sort of more basic things to have a little bit of fun with, to get started, and maybe get into a solo or two before this lesson's done. So, first thing I want to show you is something real easy. Now this is Rikki, Don't Lose That Number. And it just starts out with the little bass part. Okay, so that's just the E string, the low E, and the B note on the A string, the 5th string. Okay, so all we're doing on that little riff, we're doing the 2nd and 3rd strings, both on the 7th fret. I'm going to use my ring finger for those two. So not the smallest 2 strings, but the next 2. And then we're going to the 6, 5. 6 on the 3rd string, 5 on the 2nd string. We're taking that down 2 frets, 4th fret and 3rd fret. And then I'm going to use my first finger to get the 2s down here. So it's going to be. Okay, so let's go through that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and just to get you started on the chords, D to A to E, and that's as far as we're gonna go for right now, okay? So. Okay, that's all we're gonna do for now, so let's run through all of that, and we'll add the D to the A to the E at the end of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Teaser there, so you can figure that one out on your own. All right, we're gonna move on to the next thing. This one's called Chain Lightning. And this is, it's tricky in its own way, but it's kind of simple for a Steely Dan tune in that it has this little progression and riffs that it runs through, and it just cycles that over and over again, kind of through the song. So it doesn't have a lot of crazy ins and outs and bridges and stuff. So anyway, here's Chain Lightning. The first riff. Okay, so that's going to be like an A9 chord. That's basically, we got the A bass note, we've got a 5 on the D string, 4 and 5, G, B, and A. And that slides up 2 frets, and then goes up 1, that kind of thing, 3, 4. Then you have a little riff that follows that. Okay, so you got the open A, you're going from B to C sharp with the ring finger, E to A, back to that bass note that starts off your riff. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that going. You don't always have to do the same slide or hit the chord each way. You know, you can kind of mix it up and make it feel cool for you. But it's going to get into a little progression here to where we're going to go. So we're going to come from that riff into the C note here. And we're going to slide into that D chord there. So we're going to have, and that's from the 6th fret into the 7th. is 5s to 7s. So it mixes itself up a little bit there. A little bit of chromatic going on. So we're gonna have an 8th fret on the 2nd string, the G note. Okay, let's do that part again. C. Now we've got, that's moving into a G. So, C. Okay, so it's a quick slide from the F to the F sharp, up to the A, from the F sharp to the G. So that's G note to E to D, move to a D there. Now right there we have the 6th fret with the 5th fret, and we're muting that one in between, so we just get those 2 notes, the G sharp and the E. And then that'll slide back from the 4 to the 3 up to the 6, 6, 5. And then we're back to the first part. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once again, that trick part there at the end is after you go to the D, you gotta go to the 6, 5, and then slide back up to it. Hit your bass. Okay, so we can go through all that one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was Chain Lightning, and then you go in there and have some fun with your A minor pentatonic scale and mixing some different things in there with that. All right, we're gonna go on to Josie now. So here goes the intro to Josie. Some tricky chords there. Let's look at that again. That's why I'm doing a finger style, because this last chord has 4 strings, but it's got a couple open strings in between there that's hard to strum and just get the notes that you want. So one more time, intro to Josie. Okay, so some tricky stuff going on there. So let's break that down. So we got the 2 and the 3. 2 on the D string, 3 on the B string. And then we're gonna go to 4 and 2. Also D string and B string, so. And then we've got an E flat power chord to an E power chord. So that's 1st fret D string and 3rd fret G string, up a fret. So once more, we got 2, 3, and then 4, 2, same time, and then these power chords. So 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that one more time. 2, 3, 4. Now the second part starts out the same. And Then it goes to the B power chord on the A string, up to the D power chord. Then we're gonna have these notes. E, then you're down here on the D string with the A note. And that's an open B string at the end. So E, A flat, G, G flat, B. And then we start these chords here, these 4 chords. This is a C with an F sharp bass. This is an F sharp 7 sharp 9. Then we have a D with a G bass. And then we have A flat major add 6. A flat major 7 add 6, I believe. Okay, so let's look at those chords again. Okay, so let's run through that intro again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and. Okay, so that's the groove we have on this. This is the E minor 7 without a 5th. So we can use this E bass note with it. But the way we're gonna finger this chord, this is kind of a jazz way of doing a minor 7. I always like to say this is a Doobie Brothers minor 7. It has the 5th in there. But you take that 5th out, it's got more air to it. So it's a little more jazzy, a little more free thinking kind of, free sounding. So, and of course that takes a lot of muting technique where you are not taking your fingers off the strings, but you're easing the tension so that that chord can be staccato and it can be just a chip when you want it to be a hit without notes kind of thing. So let's look at that again. Now, some of the next things you're going to have is D major 7. So D major 7, probably familiar with. Now this chord is a G with a C bass. Steely Dan does a lot of that type of thing, where they have the 4th in the bass. So this is like the top of a G chord here, but it's got a C bass on it. Real interesting Steely Dan kind of sound there. So we're gonna go from the D major 7 to the G with a C bass. Now we're coming up here with that same chord to the 10th fret. So that's gonna be a D chord with a G bass. That's gonna be a C chord with an F bass. So let's look at those 4 chords again. 2, 3, and. Okay, so that's that's getting us all the way to the chorus there. So if we look at that once again, we got our intro and everything, we got our 4 chords. We get into the groove, 2, 3, and. Verse, Josie calls home. Here's the D major 7. Going to A7. Now these chords, those chords, that is a D chord with a G bass. And this is an E chord with an A bass. And then we're going to get into the chorus. Let me double check this. So here's where we get into, We got our E minor 7 into a C with an F bass, and then we're gonna go to a F sharp 7 sharp 9. Higher end version of this one down here. Okay, so we got that's a B augmented 7th. So we got these 4 chords here. We got E minor 7, C with an F bass, and then F sharp 7 sharp 9, B augmented, and then let me double check these others. Okay, so we got when Josie, so it's like when Josie comes home, so good. Back to these chords, she's the pride. Back to those chords, neighborhood, E minor 7, A7, and then A minor 7 to D9, and G major 7 to C major 7, and then we got this F sharp 7 sharp 9, and then we got a B 7 sharp 9. Okay, so let's look at that again. Getting into the chorus, we have A7, A minor, G major 7, C major 7, and then we got the and B raised 9. Okay, so I'm gonna run through all of that from the verse of Josie. 2, 3, 4. D major 7. A7. A minor, G major 7. Okay, so let's go through the intro again. 2, 3, and verse. D major 7. A7. A7, A minor 7, G major 7, C major 7. All right, moving along. Next song, we're gonna do a little bit of Asia. So, we're gonna start at the verse. Okay, so that's what we're gonna get after first. So this is the verse, like the up on the hill, that kind of thing. So we have a 3 and a 4 here. 3 on the G string, 4 on the B string. So we're hammering onto the 4th fret of the G string. Okay, so basically we just have these 3 little different shapes here. Then we're going to the 2nd string, 2 to 4. So 2, 3, 4. And then we're gonna hit an A chord with a B bass, A/B. And then we'll hit those A notes to part of a B chord there, 4, 4, 4, and then 4, 1, 0. Back to the A with the B bass. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a D note on the 2nd string. You wait a whole measure, and then you wait to the end of the next measure. You come into a C major 7 chord. And you wait more than a bar. That's the G to the D. And then we have this D, D6/9. And then we have a, that's how that measure ends. And 3 and 4. So if we look at that all again, we got 2, 3, 4. Okay, and that was 5, 4, 4, 0. Now we're into the chorus. So I think if you know the melody, that's pretty easy to figure out from looking at it. Chinese music, out in the dude range, above the sea. Now this part's a little tricky. You got 4, 3, 1. So the only thing moving is the 1, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1. So. Okay, then we're to the chorus, the Asia part. Asia. And this is coming from like a B minor type thing. Asia. Okay, so let's look at the Asia part again. 2, 3, 4. Asia. Okay, now there's another part in Asia. And this is an interlude. So this is an interlude for Asia, and it goes. So that's an open A with the 2, 2, 2 from an A chord to the 5, 4, 3 from a G chord. Also on the D, G, and B strings. So let's try that again. That's going to be the interlude of Asia. I'm going to do that 8 times. Now you could just keep playing that while they go into the next riff, but the next riff is. Okay, so getting up into that riff, we got the 14 and the 12 and the 2 bottom strings. And I'm making them staccato kind of each time, so they're like pop, 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 you know, get that kind of sound. So here we're going from the 14, 12, we got the 12 and 10, we got the 10 and 9. We're gonna have the 8 and 7 later when we get to the lower part of the riff. So let's look at that again. 3, 4. And then G, F, G, F. We got an F minor 11 here. F minor 11. Those are little octave notes. That's D and C sharp and A. Here's a little teaser of what might happen in the next Steely Dan lesson. A little bit of Reelin in the ears. Here's one last little thing, Black Friday. So here's a little groove for Black Friday. If you get a little bit into the song, I'll probably have a seconds into the song punched up for you here. But basically the groove gets started with everybody kicked in, the band and everything. You gotta. So what you got there is basically, if you were looking at like an F sharp chord without the bass, you got the E bass rolling through that. But it's a way to do a little chromatic into a G chord. So it's got that swing feel. There you're going from the C sharp to the B. And that's where you can do part of an A chord into that little sort of E7 riff with the G to G sharp, little trill. So let's count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to the change. We got 5, 3, 2, 3, E flat, B to the B. Okay, so that was A, G, F sharp, G, D sharp, D to the B. And those riffs, depending on which octave you want to do it in. So that's B and C sharp to the G to the E. So it's like a major E minor riff for a second and ends with a minor, more of a minor pentatonic. Lower, it's just this. That's been Steely Dan lesson number 1. Come see us at Modern Music Studio. I'm Damon Wood, thanks to Jeremy and the gang. Online lessons, all kinds of instruments. Come check us out. Go Steely Dan.